While most of us are still processing the brutal assassination of Charlie Kirk, coming to terms with what this means for America, for Western civilization, thinking of his poor family who witnessed this heinous act, his death has already been hijacked by people who spent years slandering him because of his stance on Israel. Let me show you what they're saying.
Mossad assassinated Charlie Kirk.
Well, why was Charlie wearing body armor? Because Charlie was telling people that he thought Israel was going to kill him right here. Look at this shit.
Moments after, though, the shooting takes place, you have Benjamin Netanyahu who comes out and tweets about this before anyone else. Before Trump even, the personal friend of Charlie Kirk. Then a few moments later, you have Benjamin Netanyahu come out and say that, I was speaking to Charlie Kirk 2 weeks ago. I invited him to Israel. What? You invited him to Israel after he was saying all these things about Mossad, about Gaza, about Iran, and he was getting all this flack for having Tucker Carlson and Dave Smith speak at TPUSA. All of your Hasbara agents were attacking Charlie Kirk, and you decided to stop your schedule, bombing 7 countries in the middle of this political crisis in your country, to have a conversation with Charlie Kirk, call him and say that he needs to come to Israel to kiss the wall again, and presumably he said no in a polite manner. Am I missing something?
We remember the 3,000 people Israel killed on 9/11 today, and we remember Charlie Kirk, who Israel killed yesterday.
These people are sick in the head. They see Israel everywhere. Everything is Israel's fault. I'm pretty sure that if the toilet doesn't flush, they blame Israel. If they trip over a paving slab, they blame Israel. If they can't find a shoe, they blame Israel. It's like a mental disorder. But this time, these charlatans have exposed themselves as the grifters they truly are. Let me show you what I mean.
So I think from Netanyahu's perspective right now, who's made it clear he needs American support, how do you gain more support from Americans, especially from Christian whites, when their popularity is at an all-time low? Maybe, I don't know if you think that I'm being crazy considering this, but I don't see another valuable explanation for them to wait at a public time like that. I just don't see some like who watch too much Facebook news capable of doing this. It has to be, what nation has been able to kill Hamas leadership, been able to put bombs in cell phones, assassinate the leader of Yemen, who's made it clear that they're willing and capable of killing leaders, killing influential people, killing media, of killing journalists all over the world. Only Israel.
Okay, so that's Sneeko, one of the world's biggest streamers. But the thing is, Sneeko has spent years attacking Charlie Kirk because Charlie Kirk is pro-Israel. Let me play you another clip.
This is Charlie Kirk. Israel's our greatest ally.
Save your complaints about World War III, says Charlie Kirk. Just shut up and let Trump suck off Netanyahu more. This traitor. And it's funny, he's probably the same Christian that Ted Cruz is. People who believe that the Bible says you're supposed to bless the state of Israel. But after 1948, you need to bless the state of Israel. These Zionist Christian cucks.
Sneeko wasn't alone. These hypocritical, anti-Semitic grifters, charlatans, were lining up to condemn Israel. Here's Daniel Hakikachu claiming that it was probably Netanyahu who ordered the assassination. But a few weeks earlier, the very same person, Daniel Hakikachu, was accusing Charlie of being a Judeo-conservative. It's disgraceful. He knew that Charlie was a friend of Israel. He knew that Charlie was a friend of the Jews, but he capitalized on Charlie's death to advocate and push for his own anti-Semitic, anti-Zionist narrative. Next, we have this post from Red Pill USA, where he claims that Charlie Kirk was starting to notice. What was he noticing? Well, he then goes on to quote Charlie as saying, and this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, end quote. What he then cuts off is that he goes on to say Saudi intelligence or a hired gun, etc., etc. In fact, Charlie Kirk wasn't saying anything that almost every other American conservative commentator was saying about Epstein. But Red Pill wants you to believe that this was grounds for Israel to assassinate him. A year and a half after he made this video. You see, this video was first published a year and a half ago. It was then clipped by the self-proclaimed fascist Keith Woods, which is the video that's been shared here. And that kind of gives you an insight into the network of people we're dealing with. And during that period, so for the last year and a half, Red Pill USA relentlessly attacked Charlie Kirk because of his stance on Israel. Are you keeping up? Red Pill USA is trying to make you believe that Charlie Kirk was killed for his stance on Israel. But the last year and a half saw Red Pill USA attacking Charlie Kirk because he accused them of being a shill of Israel. These guys are such charlatans. But the next charlatan is even more brazen. It's Jackson Hinkle, the guy we just watched at the beginning of the video. Now, he replied to Netanyahu claiming, "Surely you're busy enough bombing civilians in 7 countries. Why were you speaking to Charlie Kirk just before he got assassinated? Why did Charlie Kirk tell people he feared Israel would kill him if he stepped out of line? Did Charlie deny your request to visit Israel?" You already know what's coming next. Here's Jackson Hinkle saying, Zionist Charlie Kirk says, "I'm done talking about Epstein. I'm going to trust my friends in government." What a fraud. Hinkle knows where Charlie stood on Israel. Hinkle knows where Charlie stood on Epstein, yet still he's hijacked the narrative to advance his own anti-Semitic agenda. This is Adam claiming, "Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to find out it was Mossad that shot Charlie Kirk." And this is Adam a few weeks earlier claiming that Charlie Kirk is Israel's last hope on this app. These people are such grifters. It was only a few days ago when they were attacking Charlie because of his friendship with Israel and the Jewish people. But here they are today hijacking his death to spread the very anti-Semitism that Charlie spent his entire life fighting.
Do you think, who's the bad actor, Israel or Hamas?
I believe that what Hamas is doing wrong, but that's not okay for what Israel is doing to the Palestinians.
What is Israel doing exactly? Tell me in detail. Where's it happening?
Crimes,
war crimes, really? How?
What do you mean how? They're killing little kids, man.
Well, hold on. Killing kids. You mean wait, they drop leaflets before they bomb in Gaza? They warn civilian corridors before they ever engage militarily. They do emergency medical procedures for any person in Gaza that might need it. Do you understand what's actually?
They're doing good, but it's okay for them to do bad. Then that's what
it's called war,
saying.
Okay? And in war, sometimes bad things happen.
But it's a
Who
war
started
crime.
this? It's not a war crime. Throwing around war crime is a ridiculous. You know what a war crime is? A war crime is going into
killing children
kibbutzes.
is a war crime.
Going into kibbutzes, going into the Nova Music Festival, going into people's places of residences on October 7th, and putting.
So okay, you guys keep bringing up October 7th. You guys are doing bad.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Okay.
If you're going to all of a sudden attack Jews on their holiest day of the interior of Israel, expect a whirlwind and don't complain about it when it comes forward.
So what's happening is that
the Jewish people and the state of Israel are eternally grateful to Charlie for his unshakable friendship. He was a giant of a man that changed the course of Western civilization. Rest in peace.